Have you ever wondered how the internet knows exactly where to send your data, or how your office network can talk to multiple ISPs without missing a beat? Well, that's all thanks to a protocol called BGP, or Border Gateway Protocol. Welcome at Cybersec Academy. Today, we're going to break down BGP for enterprises. We'll talk about the difference between iBGP and eBGP, the attributes that help BGP choose the best path, and how this protocol is used in real-world networks like ISPs and MPLS. Stick with me, because by the end of this, BGP won't feel like a mystery anymore. It'll make perfect sense. What is BGP? Think of BGP as the internet's postal system. It decides the best route for data to travel between different networks, which we call autonomous systems. These are just collections of IP networks managed by one organization. Unlike protocols like OSPF or eIGRP that handle routing inside a network, BGP handles routing between networks. That's why it's called an exterior gateway protocol, or EGP. BGP comes in two flavors. There's eBGP, which connects different autonomous systems, and iBGP, which shares external routes within the same autonomous system. Let's simplify iBGP versus eBGP with an analogy. Here's an easy way to picture it. iBGP is like the internal mail system inside a large office building. It keeps everyone in the same organization on the same page. eBGP is the courier that goes outside to other buildings. It connects your network to the outside world. They both do very different jobs, but both are necessary for smooth delivery. So, how does BGP decide which route to use? It doesn't just count hops like some other protocols. BGP evaluates a set of attributes to determine the best path. First, there's weight. The highest weight wins. This is Cisco-specific, and only applies locally on the router where it is configured. Think of it like giving a favorite route a boost so the router prefers it over others. For example, if a company wants traffic to always leave through a specific ISP from a particular router, setting a higher weight ensures that route is chosen first. Next is local preference. The highest value is preferred, and it is used across the entire autonomous system to influence which exit path to the internet is chosen. For instance, if a company has two ISPs, setting a higher local preference for one ISP will make all routers in the network prefer that path for outgoing traffic. This is especially useful for controlling traffic flow and optimizing network performance. AS path is another important factor. BGP prefers the shortest AS path, meaning the route that passes through the fewest autonomous systems. It also helps prevent routing loops, because BGP will ignore routes that list its own AS number. For example, if traffic can reach a destination through two ISPs, BGP will usually pick the one with fewer ACEs in the path, ensuring faster delivery and avoiding loops. The origin type indicates where the route came from. Routes originating from an IGP are preferred over those from EGP, and EGP is preferred over incomplete sources. This helps BGP decide between different types of routes when other attributes are equal. For example, a route learned internally within a network, or IGP, will be considered more reliable than one learned from another system. Finally, there's MED, or multi-exit discriminator. It suggests the preferred entry point into your AS, and lower values are preferred. MED is useful when an enterprise connects to the same ISP at multiple locations. For example, if traffic enters a company's network from two cities, the ISP can advertise a lower MED for the preferred entry point, so most traffic takes the better path. So, eBGP preference and tiebreakers. Let's break this down. By default, eBGP routes are preferred over iBGP routes, and if all else is equal, BGP uses tiebreakers like the router ID. Here's a quick pro tip for you. By tweaking local preference and MED, enterprises can influence traffic flow and optimize performance across multiple ISPs. It's actually a pretty powerful way to keep your network running smoothly. Now let's talk about how BGP is actually used in the real world. Think about ISPs first. They use eBGP to exchange routes with other providers and their customers, while iBGP inside the ISP ensures all routers have a consistent view of the network. To avoid a full mesh of connections, they often use route reflectors. It really simplifies the design while keeping everything in sync. So, BGP in enterprise MPLS VPNs is actually pretty important. For enterprises, BGP is also a key part of MPLS VPNs. Many companies rely on MPLS VPNs to securely connect their branch offices. In this setup, BGP runs between the customer edge router and the provider edge router. This setup allows the ISP to maintain separate VPNs for different customers, while still sharing the backbone efficiently. Now, BGP in multi-homed enterprises, so those are companies connected to more than one ISP, really plays a crucial role. It helps decide which ISP to use for outgoing traffic and which one to use for incoming traffic. Plus, with advanced features like BGP communities, network engineers can control routing preferences in very granular ways. Best practices for enterprise BGP. Let's talk about those for a moment. So, number 1, using iBGP route reflectors helps avoid the complexity of a full mesh of connections. Number 2, always filter incoming routes to prevent route leaks from impacting your network. Number 3, adjust local preference and MED to optimize both outbound and inbound traffic. Number 4, monitor your BGP sessions regularly to catch route flaps early. And finally, keep your AS numbers and prefixes documented. It just makes troubleshooting way easier. Now, BGP might seem intimidating at first, but once you understand the difference between iBGP and eBGP, the attributes that decide the best path and how it's used in ISPs and MPLS networks, it all starts to make sense. For enterprises, BGP isn't just something ISPs care about. It's really the key to building strong, reliable networks that perform well. For example, imagine a company with many branch offices in different cities, all connected to more than one internet provider. Without BGP, sending data between these offices or choosing the fastest path to the internet could be slow, messy, and unreliable. With BGP, the company can smartly manage multiple internet connections, make sure important applications get priority, and automatically reroute traffic if one connection fails. BGP also helps a lot in MPLS VPN networks, which, many companies use to connect branch offices and data centers safely. By using BGP settings like local preference or MED, network engineers can control how traffic moves in and out of the network, making sure it's fast, efficient, and reliable. Even when companies use cloud services or multiple data centers, BGP is essential. It allows them to share routes efficiently, handle failovers automatically, and avoid traffic jams. In short, learning BGP lets companies build networks that are scalable, dependable, and ready to grow, instead of being stuck with one ISP or a network that can't adapt. Thanks for learning with Bluehat Cybersec Academy. If this video added value to your day, give it a like, share it with someone who could benefit, and subscribe for more practical cybersecurity and networking content. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear how you're applying these concepts in your labs or real-world networks. Until next time, stay curious, stay secure, and keep building smarter networks.